Hey guys, welcome back to Easeldoesitstudio. So today we're going to do something a little different. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I don't know if this tray is big enough. It is the small Let's Resin tray. I don't have their big one, but this is their small one. And what I'm going to try to do is kind of make like an underwater scene. But we are going to do something a little different. I'm going to try pouring this in the mix to mold. When I was cleaning, I found another box of my mix to mold. So I was like, yay. And because my hands are, that's like better now, but, and then I have this spot here. All in here is all like little blisters. So I don't know what's going on. I'm falling apart, guys. Don't know what to tell you. So we're going to make this, and then we're going to flip it like this. And then I want to make another one, but I want just the rim, you know, thick enough so it's not going to break, but not too thick. And then I'm going to put like a piece of something clear over it. And I had bought these, oh my gosh, like a year ago. They're just fish tank, like little plants and flowers and stuff. So I'm going to try and separate some. These are a little, that's why I wanted a deeper tray, but I don't have a deeper one. So we are going to see if we can get some of these to work. And I pulled out, these are the UV DTF stickers that I had got. So I think what I'm going to do is, once it's all dried and cured and demolded, I'm going to put this one about there. And then I'm going to, well, I'm going to have to overlap them so we don't kind of see the two bottoms. And then I'm going to put this one over it. So it's going to give us a fuller background. And then I do have some of these little things that I had made that maybe, you know, we can kind of get it to be like a 3D look. So I don't know if we're going to use any of those, but I did want to try some of the greenery. And then I'm going to UV some lights to the bottom and put something, you know, over that so it kind of disguises it. So that's the plan. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to try. I don't remember how much this tray holds, so I'm going to probably mix up like 12 ounces and hopefully get it. I did pull out, this is the pigment paste that comes with the Craftor casting powder kit. So I'm going to try this in my mixture. So let me get my scoopy here. And I turn my mold over so that I hopefully don't get a bunch of crud in there. And if I have, you know, extra, we'll just make something. So, and then I'm thinking, okay, if I can't get the rim to come out the way I want, I will have to come up with like a plan B. And we'll have to figure something out, but we will. All right, let me... Let's see. And I'll do another. All right. So that's about 17 ounces of powder, because it will shrink down some. and I don't have like a bigger bucket to pour it in. So I'm hoping it doesn't, because last time I tried to make a bunch like this, it actually like flash cured on me. Hang on, I do have an empty mix to mold bucket. So we're just going to use that because it's just going to make it so much easier to mix up. Oop. All right. And got my little stirring thingy here. And you guys know I do not measure. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and contact Bria Reese and see if they do an affiliate program. So maybe I could get you guys like a discount code or something. And I'm just going to do a little bit more. All right, and then we are going to now this is going to go lighter because the mix to mold, come on, get on there, cover, is white. But I did want it kind of, I don't know, like an oceany kind of color. To go behind those. All right, so I think that is good. Let's flip this over and let's get this poured. So I'm gonna try and pour just the edges to see if, you know, when it comes time that I would be able to do that. So I think I would definitely be able to do that. And, oh, good, 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 good. We have some left. Let me grab like a pink and just put it in here and try to, oh, that one's not open yet. Just to change the color a little bit. This made a nice purple. And let me pour some in a small cup because I'm not going to be able to pour all of that from a big cup. All right, I'll put that down there. And I'm going to try and, now I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this out of here because this is mixed to mold, so I'm just hoping that it's deep enough. Uh-oh, it's starting to gel up here. All right, I'm just going to put a smidge more water in this just to... Why is this pouring so wonky? All right, and I got my bows. All right, we're just gonna get these poured. Try to. Whoa. All right, let's just do one of these maneuvers. I don't know if I'm gonna save this last little bit, guys. Oh, shoot. Well, good thing that's the bottom. All right, I think that's all we're going to be able to save. All right. So we're going to let that finish curing. I will clean up this mess, and then I will be back for demold, and we will pour just the rim. So I'll probably just mix up 4 ounces and just try to get it around that rim. I'm going to try and match the blue. I don't know if I'm going to be able to or not, but we'll try. And yeah. All right, so let me... keep this here. I'm going to keep my blue out. I was curious to see how this stuff was gonna clean up, but it cleans up really, really good. So I'm gonna let those harden, and this one is already cracked, so that one's probably gonna be a fail. But I'm just gonna leave it, because if I keep touching it, I'm just gonna end up breaking it. So I'll let that sit for a little bit, and then I'll be back and we will move on to the next step. Alrighty guys, I'll be right back. Alright guys, so it has been well more than a couple of hours. I went in the pool. Let's see if we can get some of these bowls. All right, so we did get a few bubbles, but, you know, we still can use them for something. You know, it was getting kind of thick at that point, so I wasn't expecting perfection, but, and I don't want to spend too much time on these extras because we'll use them in like a future project. So, let's see. And I knew that. All right. So all the bows but one broke. So I'm just going to toss them. We'll move that aside. All right, now, oh, see, that one already broke. I had a feeling, but we have this. We have a starfish. That broke. We did get a tail, a mermaid tail out. Okay. So we did get that. And let's see. Okay, we did get, and the rest broke. So, which I kind of had a feeling. I mean, we could probably use some of it. Yeah, I'm not even going to worry about that right now. All right. I had a feeling those ones would break. I just was giving it a shot. So let's get this demolded and see if we can make this work. So basically, I'm also trying to see how this is demolding as to whether or not it's going to work for what I want it to do. So basically, I want this to stand up, and this is not, oh my gosh, it's not standing the way I wanted it to stand, because it is beveled on the side. So, we're going to have to go with plan B. We did get a couple of little bubbles on the side. Nothing major, but, all right, let me just kind of pull out a few of these like little flower thingies. See how they're way too big. Oh. And I had a feeling it wasn't going to work, but I don't know. I wanted to give it a try. So, let's see if we pull this out. So basically what I wanted to do was, I have these, which are like clear plastic sheets. And I wanted to put one, let's see, over the top, which was going to seal like everything in there. But as you can see, my flowers are too big, my leafy things. Oh, let me see. You know, because it's gonna, but if, let's see, I'm wondering if I break them, and then it's still gonna be too thick. Oh, and it's not going to stand up the way that I wanted it to, so we have to go to plan B. So if I don't put anything over the front, but then it's not going to stand the way I want it, because I wanted to put lights down in here. And that is not going to work. So, let me see if we can maybe still make it a tray, but all right, let me just set this down on the background. That is still not going to work. Now, if I put it in the middle, and I had some of these coming up, because then I was thinking we could put a thin layer of resin, but that's not going to work either. Oh, what to do. All right, so initially this is what I was going to do. We were going to put that down, and I did want that to be hidden a little, just so it would show the two layers. So if I put that and then I put this and I peel those off, I wouldn't be able to put like any 3D kind of objects on it because it's not deep enough. I need something that is definitely deeper than this. But if I did this, let's see, I could just bring this down. Kind of like that. I think that would be cute. Even if I did it like that, that would kind of work. And then maybe I could just rhinestone the edge in like a darker blue. All right, so we're gonna have to pivot. I'm not even gonna try to make the other piece because I know it's not going to work with this depth. And because we do have a few little bubbles right here, yeah, we're just gonna pivot to, I don't know, plan C. So I do want to seal it because in order for these stickers to stick, I need to get it sealed. So let's, all right, well, let me just put some alcohol in here. And we're just gonna try to clean this brush out. Oops. I got stuff falling over everywhere. All right, so we've got that cleaned out. And we're just gonna put this diamond glaze, which I got, it's dragonfly glaze that I ended up getting on Amazon. And if it's not in the description, it will be on my Amazon storefront. All right, so we're gonna just kind of put a bunch in here, and we are going to just try and get this sealed. And you know what? I'm gonna get a glove, and I'm gonna try to use a gloved hand instead because the brush just takes way too long. And I do want to get this edge because when I put those rhinestones on top, I want them to be able to, you know, have something to adhere to. And I'm just going to make sure I get the corners. And I probably have too much, so I'm going to wipe some off. And this should dry somewhat clear. All right, so and I'm just gonna try and wipe off any excess. All right, and then we will, we're gonna let this dry. And then I'm going to try and put my stickers in without it peeling up this glaze. All right. So let me give this a little bit. I'll give it, I don't know, about a half an hour or so. We'll let this dry, and then we'll figure out our placement for our stickers. We'll get those in, and then I guess we will just kind of figure out where we're going at that point. All right, so what I have on this brush, I'm just gonna kind of glaze this little seahorse. No sense in wasting the glaze, right? And never mind, because I just broke his nose off. All right, let's just do a small shell, snail, whatever he is. And let's do a starfish. Like I said, I didn't know if this was going to work because the tray is not big enough. So if anybody knows of something that is bigger that might work a little bit better, put it in the comments and let me know. So I'm just trying to scoop some of this glaze onto this brush, and we'll just try to glaze this, even though it's broken. You know, I might be able to use it for something. I don't know. And I could always spray seal it, but I don't know. I've been hemming and hawing over this for like, a week. Never mind. And that ain't gonna work because I keep breaking it. So, all right. Let me let this dry, and I'm just gonna pick these little flakes out of here. We'll let this dry, and then we will come back. We'll put our stickers, we'll put our rhinestones, and I guess we'll just make it a cute tray. And then I'll spray seal the whole thing. Let's see. And those would be too big. Because I was like, I don't know if I could maybe put a couple of these on the front. But they're just a smidge too big. And these are definitely too big. So I don't know. I do have some little tiny shells. Maybe we can use that and just kind of maybe put some along the bottom. I don't know. We will see when we come back. I'll be back in a bit. All right. So I have let this dry, and I don't have to trim these because they're going to fit fine. But I do want them to kind of overlap just a smidgen, kind of like that. So, how am I going to mark this so that I know where I want it? That is the tricky question. All right, let me, oh, lordy, lordy. All right, we're going to put the first one in, and then I will make the second one work. Seeing as how we're having to pivot on the whole thing. Let's, if I can get these separate. All right, let's try this end. Maybe one end will work better than the other. I don't know. You know, it's one of those things where you don't know if something's going to work until you go to try it. And then when it doesn't, you kind of have to pivot midstream. All right, I am going to put this right about there. So I'm just going to rub this down. And then hopefully I don't pull everything up. Let's see. Is it going to even stick? That is the second question. Now I sealed it, so it should stick. But you know what? It's not. All right. Oh, back. We're going to go to plan C. And let me get my other sealer, which I am almost out of, but I know this stuff works. So I'm going to get another glove. Because if you don't seal these, nothing will stick to them. So we are going to put the knife, the cover on the knife, because you guys know I will cut myself. There we go. My word. All right. And then I will just take my my heat gun and we will try and dry this off. Let's just get this sealed. All right, I'm going to put that over there. I'm going to take this off and let's pull out our heat gun and let's see if we can dry this. And see all those little lines? That's what I don't like. So worst case scenario, I will have to put this on my heat mat for like a good hour or so, but we'll see if we can get this to stick. see. All right, that seems pretty good. Let's try this again. Now, I think it's going to work because I can already tell by the way it felt going down. Gosh. It is not gonna work. What the heck? All right, let me just get something where I can really burnish that down. Bubble there. Nope, nope, nope. It is not gonna, oh, see, some of it's gonna, but not all of it. What the crap? And I know that if you do not seal it, it will not stick. But I sealed it, and I just don't know. No. All right. So we are just going to scrap this whole dang project, guys. All right. So now what do I do? What do I do? All right, let me do something like this. Now I'm wondering if it was the two different types of sealer that made the difference. Let me get a paper towel. And let's see if we can just kind of wipe this out. Oh my goodness gracious. mean, I can always pour, you know, a thin layer of resin in the bottom of this tray. But I need to get my stickers to stick. That is the problem. All right. Let me see. I'm going to try one more. And if that doesn't work, then we're going to just scrap this. All right, so I have that guy there. Let's see, is that one going to, no, that one's not going to look good. All right, let's try one of these, like, underwater flowers. Let's see if we do it this way. Don't know. Let's see if I do it like that. All right, that might look okay. All right. So, this could be 2 wasted stickers, but I don't give up that easy, guys. So, but I think before I do the whole sticker, I'm going to put a corner down to see if it's going to stick, if I can get it lifted. Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's kind of fold that over, and let me just see. So instead of ruining the whole sticker, maybe I can, you know, okay, so that's gonna stick. So let's just continue on. Like this. All right. Let's try this again. Oh, look at that. Okay. Yay. And let's see. We were going to put this one kind of right in here. So it hides that bottom ridge of the first one. So these should stick to this. Is it going to stick here? That is the million-dollar question, guys. Come on. I can see the 2 different sides. I just can't get my nail underneath them. Let's try up here. Let's see. And I'm going to try to do the same thing that I did on the top one. I'll see if it's going to stick before I go ahead and commit. Because these stickers are not cheap, guys. They are not. It's right there. I just, for the life of me, cannot get it to separate. All right, there we go. All right. So, I'm going to fold this over. And is it going to stick? No, it is not. All right, so what to do now? We got to sand some more. So yeah, it's, for some reason, it's not wanting to stick to whatever adhesive is in there. So now that has a nice rough surface. All right. Let me just get a paper towel and just make sure we have no debris, no dust. Let's try this again. Let's see. All right, well, we're committed because I'm going over. And yeah, that's just not. All right, let's see. Let's go from the other side. All right, well, we're just gonna all right, we're gonna just commit and keep our dang fingers crossed that it works. And I got it a little crooked, but that's all right. We'll just put some rocks and shells or something. On that bottom. Now it's going to pull my first sticker up. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. This is a nightmare, guys. All right, so you guys might not even see this video because it's really kicking my butt. I have never in my life had so many issues with stickers. No, I have not. Why must it be so difficult? That's what I think of that. Okay, guys. I walked away from this because I was just frustrated. And I think I know what the problem was, and you guys are probably yelling at me, and I just couldn't hear you. I needed to let this dry more. So, I am going to try this again. Talk about slow learner. All right, so let's see if this is going to work this time. So, all I did was I took this little straight razor, and I just scraped whatever was left there. I left it overnight. So yeah, it is now Thursday. And I want this video out for you guys tonight. So no stress. Yeah, no stress at all. Okay. So let's, and I did wipe this down with some alcohol. All right. So like I said, I don't even know if this is, my whole vision is going to work or not, but let's try it again. So yeah, there are times that I get very frustrated, just like I'm sure some of you guys do. Now, I think I have gone over, oh, I got a bubble somewhere, I can hear it. I think I have gone over some, you know, a sticker before. There we go. Not like it's gonna really show, but all right, let's see. Oh, look at that. Can you imagine when you let things dry? I don't know what I was even thinking, guys. I don't. So I pulled this one out, and I'm not going to try to line them up because I think it's still going to be, it's just going to look like a too plain, like the depth of it. So I apologize. This video is going to be a little longer, but hopefully we will get some sort of a decent result. Now, if I knew how to edit and cut pieces out, I would, but I don't. So you guys are just going to have to fast forward, I guess. Oh, come on. I mean, most of the time, these come apart really, really good. There we go. All right, now please don't lift up my other sticker. Oh, crap. Well, we're gonna have a little wrinkle there. And you know what? I can live with a little wrinkle considering everything else I went through on this piece. Why is that not? Oh my gosh, guys. And I like to show you guys, you know, even my fails, but I want some sort of, at least a result, you know, coming out of this. All right, I'm going to try and work the top part off first. I'd have a few little missing bits, but on the whole, if we can come on. Please work. Please, please, please. I don't, oh. Well, I guess we're going to put a flower or something over the piece of missing head. All right. Come on. Don't re-stick. No, no, no. All right. Holy smokes. All right, so that is looking okay. All right. Holy stamoli. Now I've got to get my Dremel out. And, oh no, because that's right, it won't stand up. So, yeah, it's not gonna stand up. So now what do I do? Well, I suppose I could make it, I could make a stand for it. You know what? I'm gonna stick with my original idea, and I'll figure out how to stand it up after. All right, let me just grab my Dremel here, and we're gonna get a drill bit on the end. All right, I'm coming, guys. I'm coming. So, I had my husband put my my extension piece back on my Dremel because I just couldn't be bothered having to take tools to change my bit. Yeah, that just wasn't working for me. So, we are just going to drill a hole like right about here. So I'm just gonna turn this on. See it? No, I cannot. There we go. Alrighty. So, and that is totally fine. I can fix that. All right, so I've got my lights here. Can you guys tell I like lighted up things? All right, so we are gonna feed this through our little hole we just created. Oh, come on. So the worst thing about these little lights is, you know, they just tangle up so easy. All right, there we go. Oh my goodness. All right, so all our lights are through. This is going to get mounted to the back. So I'm just going to run this back and forth until we use up all the lights. All right, so we're going to scrunch them, and we are going to adhere them to the bottom of the tray. Let's turn this on. All right, so, because my other thing was like trying to put some up through, but I think it's going to take away from the photo. So let me grab my UV resin. I'm going to use the Bond one because this works much quicker. And I am going to, all right, let me get a pair of, at least get a glove on so I can hold it without, you know, gluing my finger to it. Let me see here. I'm going to give it just a couple little twisties, which I think will just kind of help it stay down a little bit better. And then we're going to try and hide the rest of these wires. Okay. So I didn't even try making the top piece. I think what I'll try to do is like finish it off with I don't know, some sort of like rhinestones or something. So, I mean, I suppose I could pour a thin layer of like resin on the top if I wanted to like just kind of keep it as a tray, but I wanted it to be a stand-up piece, like you could put on an end table or on a kid's bureau. I think my light is starting to die. I just want to get it tacked down enough, and then I'm going to put my big UV light over it while we cut the while we cut the like the back of it. I knew my finger was starting to glue in there. All right. So I'm just going to move this over here out of the way. Let's shut the lights off for a minute. And I'm going to grab my cordless UV resin light. And we're going to give that a good cure. I can take my glove off. So what I've done is I've already traced the shape. I just put that upside down and traced over it. So I am just going to cut right on the line if I can. And it's hard to see, especially with my black background mat here. And it might be a little shorter, which is fine, because I did bring it all the way to the end of the piece. Okay. All right, let's... I just want to make sure that that is gonna fit. Okay, sweet. So I'm gonna put the cover on that for right now because I don't need that right at the moment. So I know that I want these to lay like, I don't know, as flat as I can get them. Let's see. So maybe we can just like UV some of these down at the bottom, kind of hide the wire is basically kind of what I'm trying to do, is just kind of disguise it a little bit. All right, and let's see if I can cut some of these. Just to kind of give like a little bit more of a 3D effect is kind of what I'm going for here. Originally, I wanted them to all stand, but you know, because the piece isn't, the tray isn't deep enough, I can't do that. So I'm just having to kind of, you know, do something a little bit different. So I'll just try to get everything somewhat placed, and then let's see. So I'm thinking if I cut maybe all the back ones off of this piece, I might, no. I was hoping that I could get it to lay flat, but I'm not. So I need something tall because I need it to cover like some of the head. And these out. Oh yeah, that one will go good there. So maybe what I will do is just kind of put a little of the grass on the edges. And then maybe we can put some of these like in the front. I'm gonna, okay, yeah, that will work. Okay. And that way, that kind of covers the hole where the wire is coming in. Okay. And let's pull this out. And because now what I'm doing, I'm just trying to cover the rest of the wire, you know, if possible. Got to add some different color here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tack them down with the UV resin. And then hopefully when we glue the, you know, the top bit on, will be all encased. All right, so that is looking good. Just kind of mushing this one down a little bit. All right, so let's just start getting some of this tacked down. Let me pull out my regular UV resin. Oops. And I'm gonna get my scribe so that I can like kind of get them and I'm just kind of letting that run down. And then I will just put the whole thing back under the light for 5 minutes. I'm just trying to get those so that they stay kind of where I want them. And then that'll also help, you know, tack those lights down a little bit more. So I just need them to kind of be, you know, sticking down there firmly. All right, let's try this again. Oop. And then we get this little bunch. And then hopefully, all right, so I'm gonna get some glue in the back to get those down. Oh. Ooh, nothing came out through the hole. I didn't even think of that. All right, so, and then we're gonna put this on, and I'm going to, let's see. I need to move all this out of the way. And we're gonna put our light on. I guess some did come out the back. All right, so let me just get this washed. And I don't like that because you can see all the smears. I was not even thinking about that. Why is this project just not working the way I want it to work? You know, because that is how I wanted it to look. And then when you turn the lights on, that bottom would light up. And this would get taped or glued to the back so that you wouldn't see it. So almost like it was an underwater feature kind of thing. But I don't like, I mean, you have to really turn it to see it. And I am not liking that. Now, crap. So that means anything that touches it, if you'd even tried to dust it, it would screw it up. So maybe we just leave it opened and I just do the edge with some stones. Maybe that's kind of what we'll do. And then we can have these kind of, you know, sticking out a little bit. other than a little missing thingy ding there, his head. This one is hidden behind the flowers. So if we're gonna leave it open, maybe what I could do, is kind of try to glue that underneath so that the little guy doesn't show as much. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And that way we have the one turtle. You can still see there's another one behind there, but it is hidden. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish the rest off camera, and then I will come back to show you the finished result, just because I know this video is extremely long, guys. I so apologize. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I am back. I did seal the inside of it with the J. Diction Gloss Sealer. I just put a thin coat. It's still a little wet, so that is what I ended up doing to finish it. So I think it still came out cute, considering I was about ready to throw this in the trash 3 or 4 times. And on the back, I just glued the battery pack. So yeah, that is the finished product. I will get you some close-up pics, and I will see you on the next video, and hopefully it will be better. Bye, guys.